I remember I flew back to England. I finally admitted to myself I had a problem. Flew back to England and I went through this 1 year kind of detox withdrawal, and then managed to get through it all. Did a bunch of psychedelics at the end of it, and then next thing you know, I got a job at Evolve MMA in Singapore for a year, and then I came back to Thailand, didn't I? And I became the head jiu-jitsu coach.
That was
So I
the
managed to,
best.
like, I almost life up for a while there. I was pretty much hit rock bottom, but fortunately, I managed to get on the straight and narrow and learned a lot from that.
Emilio, the honey badger, Urrutia!
Yo, 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 ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Honey Badger Hour. We're live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Honey Badger Hour podcast. It's your boy, the Badger, and we are back. Thank you guys for tuning in, and don't forget to like and subscribe on the little notification bell below. And this week, we are back with a special guest, hailing all the way from Vancouver, Canada. Today, we are joined by the world-renowned. He's a Jiu Jitsu black belt. He's a coach. He's a world-renowned film photographer, editor, and filmmaker, known for his viral BJJ reels since the beginning of the game. My man, Stuart Cooper of Stuart Cooper Films. Yay!
Good to see you, mate.
Botch that one up. Hey, what's happening, my brother? Good to see you, Stu. How's it going, my man?
Freezing my nuts off in Canada. It's that time of year.
It's a little bit different from the nice islands of
It's like a
Phuket.
switch here. It was like kind of nice up till like September, and then I don't know, like kind of October. It's just like boom, just like overnight, just the temperature just drops.
What time does it become nighttime there?
Right now it's not too bad. I think it's like 6:30, but come December it'll be like it's going dark at like 4 p.m.
Okay, so it's like daylight saving. Do they do daylight savings in Canada, like in America?
I'm not sure. Did he? I don't know.
I don't know. Like, did the hours go back an hour yesterday, or the time?
Oh, it
stayed the
did.
same?
Yes, it did. Yeah,
It did.
Yeah, it did go back. Yeah.
Oh, so you guys do daylight? Because in Thailand, they don't do daylight savings. It's just always the same time. You notice that?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, in Thailand, it goes dark every day, 6:30, 6:45. The sun's coming down because of night class. But there's
That's true. Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. So in the summers here, it goes light at like it stays light like 10 p.m.
In the summer.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
wow,
the longest
I've heard
day of the
about
year.
that.
It's almost 10 p.m. It's still nice.
Oh,
But in the
no
winter,
way.
it doesn't get light until probably like 8:30, 8 a.m., 8:30. So the days are short in the winter.
It doesn't get light till 8:30.
Yeah, in the winter.
No way, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, so what's your training schedule? What's your teaching schedule like right now in Vancouver? What classes you rocking?
So I'm teaching like Mondays, like just one class. Tuesdays, it's 4 classes. Wednesdays, just one class. Thursday, it's 3 classes. Friday, just in the afternoon. Then one class on the Saturday right now.
Nice, man. What are you teaching? All no gi, or what are you teaching over there?
So I'm just teaching no-gi at the moment. And I've teamed up with another black belt called Felipe, and he's teaching the gi, all the gi classes. So he had the program running there I think he's had it for about 4 years now. And then I've just, now I'm collaborating with him, and we're, trying to make it grow.
That's awesome, man. And you got a nice group. You got a good group of students already over there and everything, rocking and rolling.
Yes, yeah. I've got a lot of students from, because I was teaching at another gym in Vancouver, Diaz Combat Sports, but a lot of the students have crossed over.
Nice, man. And then they got it. So, and you're teaching. They got wrestling and MMA stuff too, or is that just a straight?
No, it's
jiu-jitsu
actually
gym?
we're renting space. It's a Krav Maga gym called Impact, so we're kind of
Okay.
like using the space out of there right now. So they have Krav Maga and they've got kickboxing, some fitness classes, but we just do the jiu-jitsu program separate.
Oh, nice, man. And how are the mats? They got good mats there. Or they got like
Yeah, it's a really nice gym. It's really
fuck
cool. Yeah,
Oh,
and it's like
that's-
it's only like 10 minutes on the bike from my house.
Yeah, man. Oh, that's awesome, bro. Yo, and how long you been a black belt now, Stu?
I got my black belt in October 2015.
Wow, bro.
Yeah, that's
2015 October. So you're coming up on 10 years as a black belt. How many degrees? Do you have like a second, third degree right now, or?
I actually don't have anything because I never see my professor. So I think I should. Should I be a 3rd degree now?
You should be pretty up there, bro. Yeah, you should for sure be a second degree, third degree. For sure a second. I think it's every 5 years you get a degree, right?
I think it's every three years.
Every 3,
I think,
yeah,
you
that's
get a
true.
degree, yeah. Every 3 years, so.
And you can't give a black belt until you get like one stripe or something like this. Is that true? Have you heard
I think
this
it's
before?
2. I think you're going to be a second degree black belt to give a black belt.
Oh, really? So you already got to be a black belt for 6 years to give a black belt?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I'm not positive on that.
Damn. Hey, so Stu, so you're saying are you still training gi or not too much? You've relinquished the gi a little bit.
I completely stopped for a while, but now I'm a teacher at this other gym, and Felipe, like, he loves the gi. He's kind of like made me enjoy it again, But I was so focused on no gi. The way you pass guard and the way you play guard is completely different. So I kind of stopped doing the gi. I mean, because I'm just not as good in it. I get my guard passed all the time, And I get collar choked all the time, so I don't know.
Really?
I always think, this wouldn't happen if it was no gi, But
yeah.
I've just got to appreciate, I'm starting to, I just need to start training it more again and fall in love with it.
Yeah, but you've always had good gi game though. You've always feel like you've been a no gi specialist over everything.
Yeah. Like I actually started with MMA, so obviously it was like no gi grappling, and then actually, when I moved back up north, after I finished university, it was all gi, and they only had no gi once a week. But I would always look forward to that one no gi class a week. I always noticed I did, I enjoyed it more. And then when I moved out to Brazil, it was pretty much all gi. We did some no gi as well. But it's when I moved to Thailand, that's when it was no one really. I mean, we had gi classes, but it was mostly no gi, wasn't it, in Thailand? And that's when I really fell in love with it.
Oh wow! And that's when the bug for no gi came up, and then the leg locks, and you've seen that, and you've got to see the evolution. Don't you feel like through your films and making films, you've got to like see a lot of the evolution of the game, like from the beginning of making films to now? Like you've really got to see a growth, spectacular, and where the game has gone, huh? From when you first started.
Oh yeah, I mean, I remember, like, I was actually looking through the footage recently. ADCC 2013, Lovato Jr. put Homolo in the saddle. But the finishing mechanics weren't quite there. Like the information just wasn't around like it is today at that time. But I think it was in 2015. That's when Eddie Cummings was coming out, and he was like leg locking everybody. And then 2017 was Craig
double
Jones
trap
breakout.
That's right. Eddie Cummings was putting everybody in the double trouble.
Yep.
Right. Remember that's like when we first seen the saddle. Oh, that was kind of like the saddle. That saddle too, right? More or less. Like.
Yeah. But it was actually, if you remember, 2011. Like Dean Lister won his division by heel hook against Joao Assis, and Husam Alpalharis, tore up the 88 kilogram division with heel hooks. But still, people still didn't, for whatever reason, like think, we should start learning this. It was really when Gordon Ryan and Craig Jones just started heel hooking everybody. Then people started to take notice. There's a system here,
Yeah, Gary Tonin started hitting. But you know what's funny? I remember when you know who I learned the back trap Danaher system was from I remember there was a point when you got really into the saddle, and I remember when you first honed in on the leg locks, you know what I'm saying? Like from the Danaher system. But you also put me on to the rear naked choke system. Your straight jacket system is no joke. So are you running a lot of so sorry about that. What are you saying?
I was just saying, I was fortunate enough to learn that from John Danaher himself in Singapore. And I think that was 2016. He was doing a seminar there, and a friend of mine called Alex Shum was getting a private with him. So he invited me along, and John Danaher was demonstrating on me in the private. So he showed me the straight jacket system. And then I just always remembered it from then. So I kind of learned it. I don't think the DVDs were out
I don't think the DVDs were out. You know what's funny? One of my students showed me, my student went to that Danaher DVD. That's right, we were living in Singapore at the same time. How crazy, bro.
Oh, shit, yeah, we were, yeah.
My student showed, but you were so busy in Singapore. That was a crazy life for you,
I was teaching 8 classes a day, 6 days a week.
And doing privates too? You're training like a Thai person. You're training like a Thai person, bro.
No wonder no one sticks around.
Oh my gosh, the turnout rate there is crazy, huh?
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, I just saw the news the other day. Mikey Musumeci left. I knew there was only a matter of time. I mean, it seems. I think eventually things will come out. It already is.
I don't know, right? I don't know if they know what we know, but like, the ruthlessness. But yeah, man. Listen, at the end, hey, with this day, 2024, everything's getting exposed, like Cat Williams said, dog. All the truth is coming to light, so the day of reckoning's gonna come for that one. I'm excited to see how that one plays out, just with that whole situation, you know. To be like I said, bro, we were talking about it before, you know, like the type of people that draws to martial arts and the mats, you know, like you get a lot of the guys who just want to do it, but then you got guys who realize they can't do it, but they want to be involved somehow or some way, you know.
Yes, yeah.
And it's usually the guys with the money and the ones who like put on the promotions and MMA. The guys are usually, that's why CJI was such a feather in the cap of like something different that we're used to.
It really was, yeah.
Because it was finally, it was for the athletes, by the athletes, where usually you get the a la, you get the characters. I'm not gonna say no names, but you get those funny characters that run these promotions. And you always see it's always like this type of person, you know, and they always don't get along with each other. It's always the owners.
Oh, bro, you're
so
right.
It's like they're the same person, but they don't like each other.
It's funny that you say that, because one of the biggest things working, because I've worked on the ADCC 2019, then I worked in CGI. The biggest difference was the way I was treated and the way everyone got along. The atmosphere was really light. It was really friendly. It was awesome. But when I did ADCC 2019, Jesus, like it was a lot different, you know. Wasn't treated that well, and then, you know, people talk shit about each other behind each other's back and shift the blame. It was like very, very toxic environment, you know.
Which one did you work at? That was in ADC Beijing? Was that in China?
Yeah, that was different. I worked in 2013. That was in China, Beijing, China. But that was when Budo videos were they had the rights to the live stream. So Flow Grappling came in 2017, I think.
And you did 2019?
I did. I worked in 2019. Yeah.
And you had like a little bit of issue with the Flow Grappling situation, right? Like through them?
Yeah, it was just like loads of miscommunication. I was told one thing. I was told I was allowed to do this, and then, but you know, by the organizer, and then Flow Grappling was saying, no, you're not allowed to do this. And I'm like, well, who do I listen to here? You know, I actually spoke about this in detail on Craig Jones' podcast recently, the one right before CGI and the El Segundo podcast. I kind of went into detail there on what happened.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, so if anybody wants to know the drama of that one, you know, they can just tune into the El Segundo podcast. So let's get into how cool, man, because you were like, you know what I loved about the CGI? So many athletes that were giving you your dues. They were like, man, I remember when I started. Isn't it cool that you had guys that were like starting out and making their name in the game, and you were the guy that kind of like put them onto the sport and ADCC, and now that you were making films on them, like in the future. Wasn't that interesting how that one played out?
It's really cool, yeah. Like it makes me feel old.
Yeah, that's
like, I think a lot of the guys competing now, like the Rotolos, so they kind of came up watching my videos, you know, because I was making these videos before Flow Grappling was around, so a lot of the athletes competing today, they kind of, they come up watching my content on my YouTube channel, because there wasn't that much else, because it was such a, now it's a bigger sport, isn't it? But there's loads of videographers now doing content, but back then there really wasn't that many people doing it. Man,
so you're in CGI, right? But in 2024, but you were in were you in ADCC in 2013, which is the one where you were like filming but not really?
Like 2011 in Nottingham, England. You know, I filmed that one. I never had permission. I just kind of, you know.
Okay, but you were in ADCC in 2011, and then you see CJI in 2024.
Yeah, so I did ADCC.
How many people were in the arena in 2013 compared to now?
Oh, bro, so, you know,
11 years later.
2011 wasn't too bad, because Brawley Wistima was the super fight, and he lives in England, so there was a lot of English support for Braulio. So but it wasn't that, you know, it wasn't that big, you know. But 2013 in China, there was no one. I think they even brought in the Chinese police just to like get someone in the stands. But it was actually kind of cool though, because there was no music. There's no one in the stands, so it was like it was good for me because I had full access around the mats. I could go anywhere without anyone getting in my way. But as you know, now the sport's got more popular. There's fucking photographers and cameras and security and people everywhere, you know. So you've got to find. Now I notice when I go to these competitions to film, you've got to find a spot, and you can kind of only stick to that one spot. You know, it's harder to move around.
Oh, wow, because there's so many people with credentials also, right?
Yeah, there's more people now involved, which is a good thing, you know?
Yeah, 100%. No, how crazy to see. How many people were in the arena for CJI? They filled it out pretty good.
Bro, it was packed. The second day, especially the second day, the fucking atmosphere was incredible. It was I think the first day, like, it wasn't too busy when it first started, but it really started to pack out as the afternoon and evening went on. And the second day was incredible. I was really fortunate, feel fortunate to be a part of that, part of history.
How
It was
cool,
just
man.
such a cool atmosphere.
It was so great to see you involved. Making the hype videos were so good. The Renato Laranja with the face off with
Gabby
Craig
Garcia.
Jones and Renato.
Yeah,
and
that was
Renato
all,
cornering too.
I think that was Craig and Seth's idea. They had a basic idea to do this like face off, like they do with the boxing. And then I think one of them was getting a tattoo, and in the tattoo parlor, they saw one of those like key rings of Renato Laranja, and then the light bulb went off. Oh, let's use Renato Laranja as the mediator. So then it was all improvised. I flew out to LA, and they had an idea. We rented out a film studio, and yeah, we just winged it. I think we recorded for about 3 hours, and then Rohit managed to edit it down to probably like 45 minutes. But they should probably, I think they're going to release like an uncut version at some point.
No way. And you were filming it all?
Me and another guy called Rohit.
Oh, that's amazing, bro. And how did you get the call for this? How did you get put in touch with CGI to start working with them and helping them make content?
I just reached out to Craig. So I heard rumors. It was actually Jeff Sainler, a mutual friend of ours. He messaged me going, big news coming to the Jiu Jitsu world soon. And then I think, I don't know, I just caught wind of it. Then I just messaged Craig one day. I said, hey, man, would you be interested in me doing some filming and doing a highlight? And he goes, yeah, definitely. So then he told me to get in contact with Seth, who's his like business partner. And then, just arranged it.
Man, the only thing you were saying, were you a little bit sad you couldn't get in on that bracket, bro?
Oof. I mean, over 80. I mean, honestly, realistic. Like, if I was to get in, I would have done under 80.
Yeah.
There's someone like Nicky Rod, man. I don't want to go up against that guy.
Have you ever rolled with Nicky Rod? Did you do some training? Did you do any training? Were you at B Team? You were able to do some filming and get some time down in Texas at all?
No, I still haven't been there. Like, I plan to go at some point. I really want to go, but just not had the chance yet.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you did all your work was like you showed up to Vegas for the CJI. Where'd you guys do the interview and stuff?
What with Gabby Garcia? And,
yeah,
that was done in LA.
Oh, okay. So you went from California. You traveled down to LA for a little bit. Did that that and left?
Yeah,
and
the
left
plan was the plan was to actually do like a UFC style countdown show between Gabby and Craig, but make it funny. But we were just so stuck for time, and it was all very last minute. It really was. I mean, the fact that they pulled it off the way they did is impressive, but there just wasn't enough time to do that countdown show in the end. So we just did that one, that face-off episode. So yeah, I was in Vancouver, and I just flew out to LA for a couple of days, filmed that, and then came back.
And were you able to catch any of the ADCC when you were down in Vegas?
No, I didn't actually. I didn't bother. I wasn't sure I would be welcome in the building.
That would have been funny if you rolled up, right?
Yeah.
Is there any word on
I actually love ADCC. I love it.
I know.
I'm a big fan of it, and I've even watched the matches afterwards. It was my problem and Craig's is just the new organizer that had come in, and just the way Flow Grappling were treating not only the athletes but the media, just the way they came in with this very they're a monopoly. It's a growing sport, and to put it behind a paywall and not show the numbers and to treat the people the way they did, it's not cool.
No, definitely. And then CJI showed the power of the sport right now and the grappling with what they were able to do with the people that with the tickets they sold, man.
Yeah,
they were in the T-Mobile. They were in the T-Mobile Arena. No, the ADCC was in T-Mobile Arena, right?
Yeah. So ADCC they went with the T-Mobile Arena, and then CGI went with the Thomas and Mack Arena, which is where the ADCC was in 2022. So that was one of Craig's arguments. Is what's wrong with the Thomas and Mack? You're going to spend twice as much money for the T-Mobile Arena, but you're not going to pay the athletes. So
yeah, that's wild, right?
Yeah.
How does the pay structure? The pay structure still is not too certified. It's not too set in jiu-jitsu right now, right? As far as these fights go, I mean, there isn't really any. There's any some promotions do like super fight money, right? I'm sure. Like a lot of these like big turn like Flow Grappling and all these matches that they have like fight to win and stuff. They're all doing like money prizes, I guess, right? Like cash prizes, super fights and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, everyone gets paid different amounts, like some shows of like prize money. Like I was supposed to be in the PGF, which started today, and that was $100,000 prize money for the winning team. So if I had been and had gone and competed and been on the winning team, I could have come away with 20K. And if you win, if you're the overall winner, you could potentially win another 20K. So you could come away with $40,000. So it's a growing sport, but there's more and more money coming into it now.
Yeah, man.
It's still got a long ways to go, isn't it?
Yeah, what'd you think about the pit? Did you like the pit for the grappling and action?
I loved it. Yeah, I mean, if you look at Andrew Tackett versus Cade, imagine if that was an ADCC, the amount of resets they would have to have had. So in the pit, it made it for an incredible, it really works for some athlete styles as well, like the Tackett brothers and Cade Rotolo. I think it was awesome.
No, and it was very good for the visual too, like for the optics to see. It was amazing, man. And there's a lot of, what I love about these big bracket tournaments? There's always guys who rise to the occasion and that you don't ever heard of, and they make it to the finals. You get the upsets. So they had a little bit of everything in CJI, you had the upsets.
Yeah, they had, what's his name? Lucas Kennard, who won the Australian middle heavy trials, I think. And he just came out and submitted Victor Hugo, who was like one of the favorites to win it.
That's crazy.
Just caught him, no one saw that one coming.
And what about Jones Leary, bro? This kid came out like, was he already been known? Because I'm not too tuned into the grappling nowadays.
Yeah, I think he was more known for the gi, but now he's making a name for himself. Obviously, he made a name for himself in the no gi now, and he's been working with Lachlan Giles. So I've watched one of his matches with Mateusz Szynski on Polaris just a few months before CGI, but he's got his guard just looks like unpassable. I didn't see it. No one came close to passing his guard.
How crazy! And then how did he beat Lucas Barbosa by decision? But what was it mostly just like?
He took his back. It was like he went for his arm. I think Lucas Barbosa was trying to smash his legs together, and then next thing you know, Levi's got some kind of arm lock and spins to his back from the arm lock.
Man, how crazy! That's what I'm saying. I trained with Lucas in Thailand. Lucas is a beast, bro. That's a cool ass motherfucker too, bro.
Yeah.
That is a good dude, man. I like Lucas a lot, bro. What a surprise for him to lose like that. That was in the first match, no? That was in the first round, I think.
No.
Oh, no.
So he actually got to the semifinals.
Oh, he beat the Rotello in the first night in his first match.
No, Lucas Bobo was the first match he beat. One of the guys from B team, I've forgotten his name. Japanese.
But Levi went against he went against Ty.
He beat Ty. Yeah, Levi beat Ty. Yeah.
What a run for him, huh? To have those wins over your belt, bro, is crazy, dog.
Yeah.
Have you ever rolled with the Rotellos?
Never.
No, really, no, none of them, huh?
They're like my worst nightmare to roll with as well because they've got left, right guard pass and they just don't get tired.
Bro, those guys look like nightmares, man.
Yeah, they're so well rounded. They're good everywhere. They've got good wrestling, good guard. They've got endless cardio.
Endless cardio, bro. Endless cardio. And I want to say their dad trains too, right? Their dad does everything. Their dad's does MMA, I think.
I'm not sure, does he? Actually, I was speaking to the mom at CGI.
The mom.
Yeah, the mom was there. Yeah, I didn't notice if the dad was there.
I think he's their coach or something like this. I don't know. I seen him in one of the hype videos coming up, man. But the Craig and these guys, they killed it on the promotions. He did all the podcasts. He went on Joe Rogan. He went on Lex Friedman. He did the whole podcast circuit to pull it out.
Yeah.
And then he had our first.
He's already planning the second one now, isn't he?
No way. Second one's in the books. It's guaranteed.
Yeah.
Wow. It's gonna be in Las Vegas. You think?
Coming. I would imagine so, yeah.
And they killed it on the numbers, right? Like the YouTube, was amazing. I think they got over 1 million views. You know what I'm saying? Which is like
Oh
huge
yeah,
for
well
YouTube.
over 1 million. I wonder if he would try because he's gonna. I think the plan's probably to do it every year now, but I wonder if they'll ever put it on the same weekend as ADCC again.
You think it'll probably be better for the athletes if they spread it, right? So that athletes have a chance. Because it'll be dope if you can win ADCC and win CJI. You know what I mean? That would be like
Yeah,
the new
yeah.
grand prize king.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't do it again. I think he just did it that way the first time, just to prove a point, to just cause a ruckus, disrupt the industry a bit.
Light a little fire under their ass. Because
Change.
maybe 100%, bro. Because maybe they get a little bit comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So you light a little fire under their eyes. You get them going. You're like, hey, you're going to get your shit together. You know what I'm saying? And then now maybe ADC will step up their paywall too, and they'll give better
I
payment
think
for
they
the
will.
fighters
Yeah, I
and
think there's
stuff.
going to be some changes now.
You know, for sure, man. So you still competing? You were about to compete recently, right? Are you still competing now?
Yeah,
Or,
yeah. I competed last
Oh, that's
last
right.
weekend. Yeah, I did the ADCC Open here in Vancouver, and then I was supposed to compete. Yeah, today in the PGF. The weigh-ins were yesterday, but I had to drop out. I dropped out probably like 4 days ago because I've been having some ongoing arm issues, and actually was injured right before the ADCC tournament. So I actually got a cortisone injection in my elbow to just try and numb everything, which it did. It helped a lot. And then I had this prescription for this cream. I can't remember the name of it, but you massage it on and like you can't feel anything. But it was halfway through the first match. It was already injured and already feeling weak. Something just went. And then I wasn't able to really grip properly after that, after the first match. I was having a hard time connecting my hands, but I managed to get through that tournament and win. But then my arm was dead. So I competed on the Saturday, but on the Sunday, my arm was just not working.
Man.
I barely had any range of motion, and PGF is 3 matches a day, every day for a week. So I was
What?
thinking, right, even if there was something to get another cortisone shot, I'd probably get through the first day, but then like the next day my arm won't work.
And where's the PGF? The PGF is in it's in Europe.
And no, PGF is in Vegas as well.
It's in Vegas.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
what weight
So it's
class is it? I don't know.
this one was 205.
What did you compete at in ADC just recently?
I competed at 91 kilograms, which is like 201 pounds, I think. 201.
Oh, nice. Okay. Dope,
Yeah.
man. And no gi, right?
Nogi, yeah. So
How many
205 is
matches you
actually
had?
a little bit heavy for me because it's a day before weigh-in. So some of these guys were big,
Yeah.
and they were cutting down to 205, where I was just going to weigh in with my clothes on at 205. But they've invited me back for the 185-pound division next year, so that's much more suited to my weight. Because then I can cut down to 185 and rehydrate.
Yeah. Can anybody register? You have to like qualify or something for these tournaments.
There's qualifiers, yeah. I think they give you an invitation or like
Oh,
these
nice,
qualifiers.
man.
Yeah.
So you got an invitation? That's dope.
Yeah, so
bro.
I went there a few months ago. They had the 170-pound division. So I just went along as a camera guide and did some highlights and stuff. But I did a bunch of training when I was there. And I just asked them, like, hey, guys, can you get me on the next show? And they're like, definitely. So they just gave me a spot.
Oh, that's awesome, bro. Yo, my man, how many matches you had?
Well, last Saturday I had 3, but the PGF I would have had at least 3, 6. I would have had at least 12 matches.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's a
Did
lot.
you pick up? Yeah, and is it like by weight? Is it by age division or is it just like pro
No,
division?
it's just Just
And what about
205 pound, yeah.
And the Abu Dhabi one you just did too? That's like it's just open.
I did the adult division. Yeah, I mean, I should be in masters now, but I'm still doing the adult.
Yeah, you're still doing the adult.
Still doing the adult.
But anyways, man, yo, so Big Stu, we met in Phuket, Thailand. My brother, I met you in 2013. You had that house right across from Tiger with this, like, remember it was like you had the little park.
Yeah. The first house we're in, it was like kind of next to some.
You live by like a soccer court or something, right? Remember like a soccer field or something? You go right in the right there.
What's going on?
First house with Jeff, bro.
Sorry,
House with Jeff. That's when I first met you. Now you're all right.
But yeah, no, I remember that house. Like we had loads because it was right next to some bushes, some trees, and like we would get like these big spiders come in sometimes. I remember some scorpions. There was one time this giant centipede. I was just on the computer doing some editing, and then the corner of my eye, this giant centipede just started coming out the bathroom. And those things are hard to kill. I started beating it with a flip flop. That's when I was living there with Ryan Jones, and then Jeff Saylor and JP lived next door.
Yes, that one, that house. And then you were living with Jeff for a while.
Yeah, yeah. Jeff Sandler is now working for Mark Zuckerberg, isn't he?
Jeff Sandler is working for Mark Zuckerberg. He's living the corporate life. He's out there grinding, but he's loving it, man. He's happy too, and he's
Yeah.
kicking ass,
It's
So
wild though to see all the people we were friends with and training with, like where they've gone on to go. Valentina, probably like the
world
greatest,
champion, the greatest
yeah,
female fighter
world
of all
champ
time.
still, Volkanovski, Peter Yan, Israel. Who else am I missing? Like Kai Kara France, so many,
Kai
so many
Kara fought
people.
for the title, just knocked out the former champion or the
Yeah,
former number one contender. He's making his run back. Dan Hooker.
and
You've
Hooky,
been training
yeah.
with
There's,
Dan
there's
Hooker since
rumors,
back in the
ru-
day.
there's rumors he's fighting Connor next.
I heard about that. I don't know if that's legit, but I know they're trying to make that happen. Let's
Yeah,
give
that
him
would
the
be a good
money,
one.
baby. Give him the money.
Yeah,
Hooker,
Brad
that man.
Riddell as well. Can't forget Brad. He's had an amazing run in UFC. I hope to see him back soon because
Top 10, top
he had
10
some
fucking
amazing
lightweight,
fights.
bro.
Yeah,
Had that great fight with Drew. Had some amazing wins. Drew Dobert, the
yes,
Australian
yeah.
guy, the one that Volk fought. Oh my gosh, he's had some. He fought that Russian guy. When I went to New Zealand, I went to go watch him fight. Him and Dan Hooker and Kai Kara, they all won. They had the three-peat. It was great.
Yeah, that was a good night.
Hey, but those were good old days, man. I remember I used to love just driving home from Tiger, like go to do the night class with you in Jiu Jitsu. Remember when we were in the rooms before we went outside,
Oh yeah.
with Fernando?
Oh, those
You
are the
ever miss
days, eh?
Thailand? You ever think you'd ever go back?
I want to go back to visit for sure. I mean, there's a lot of things I miss about it, but I always have to remind myself why I left. But I kept getting, for whatever reason, I'm
Staff.
sure if I was to go there right now, as soon as you get off the plane, I get a staph infection. It's just wild. Like I haven't had one staph infection since I've been in Vancouver, but in Thailand, I got this recurrent staph. I think I got it 10 times in 1 year, and I was on antibiotics all the fucking time, and it was ruining my gut. So yeah, no, at the time we were at Tiger Muay Thai, and the manager didn't really seem to. I don't know, didn't seem to like he cared about the issue, So
They don't understand. The coaches,
don't understand.
there's a separation between manager. It's the same situation as you get, I think, with gym owners and people that run these MMA promotions and grappling promotions. You get the guys who they want the title, but they don't really know what it is to be in the field in that game.
Yeah,
So you had like in Tiger, you had a guy like Watt, you know what I'm saying, where he doesn't know the logistics of the mat and the cleanliness and what it takes. His staff, his cleaning ladies don't know what they're talking about you know what I mean? Like that's a specific thing, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, and it's because there were a lot of tourists there as well. Like the toilets were situated way too close to the mats, and there was like buckets where you could wash your feet, but I would literally watch these tourists go to the bathroom
And run
barefoot and
back.
stand in fucking piss and then step over the bucket of like
Now they think the bucket
antiseptic water.
yeah,
And
they think they think the
staph
bucket is like
infections were bad, weren't
oh
they?
my gosh. No, the staph infections in Thailand were crazy. I've been on antibiotics so many times, I don't even want to think about it, bro. And like, what's crazy? I'm having some gut problems now, and I'm wondering if it's from. I go to the doctors right now, and I'm having like some stomach issues, and they're like, "Oh no, you're all right." And I'm like, "No, you don't understand, bro. I've had staph 85 times. I've been on antibiotics an ungodly amount of time. I think I fucked my gut biome up. You know what I'm saying?"
Yeah.
I try to
wonder if
explain
it's,
to these doctors.
I wonder if they get it a lot at Bangtao.
I reckon.
wonder.
I don't know. It's true. I haven't.
It's just
I mean,
part
I
of
haven't been
Thailand.
there.
There's just something in Thailand, I think, isn't it? The heat.
I think they have a little bit because I was talking to Alex a few times, and he's like, "Oh, I talked to Alex a couple of weeks ago, and he had like he was sick, and he's like, yo, I was sick, and I got staph, and I got pink eye." So I'm like, all right,
Oh
some
my
things
god,
don't.
yeah. Those are the days.
The Thailand blues, dog.
Yeah.
It's the
Someone
island,
always had
bro.
it.
Yeah, I know. You gotta in Thailand. You gotta take the good with the bad. You get like the best ideal living
Yeah,
situation.
you would get sick a lot. I remember that when I was in Thailand, I get food poisoning all the time, and there's something about my English white skin couldn't take the climate and the food over there.
Yeah, dog. No, it takes a while. Like you need like 3 years to like harden your body. But some people
Yeah.
just go and adapt. I noticed. Some people just go and nothing.
Oh yeah,
But for
yeah, like
me-
George Hickman, like he's like almost Thai. And
Yeah,
Alex-
Alex got fucked up. Alex had a lot of diarrhea like in the beginning. Like when I moved to Thailand, I was living with Alex, and like, bro, I'm telling you, I would get like a heat rash. He had something for everything. Everything that ever happened to me, he had it and had the cure for it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He'd been through it all.
Yeah. Speaking of the Jew, talking about lasting lasting the game of time, bro. Alex Shield, bro, one of the longest running Phuketians of all time, bro.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he was there a couple of years before I was there, but I was always there. Like I've left a number of times, like back and forth, back and forth. But Alex has been there. I was there in 2012, and I think he got there maybe a year or two before me. So I think he's been there since like 2011. So over a decade. But he actually speaks Thai now, I think, doesn't he?
He speaks
Like
Thai.
pretty well.
Yeah, man, they're running Bang Tao. We got to go check out Bang Tao.
Yeah, they're killing it over there,
We're all
aren't
there
they?
together, you know? No, and the gym looks amazing. Like, and we were talking about it before, bro. It's a gym. It's for athletes by an athlete. And that's the same thing. It's like the reason why Bang Tao is amazing is probably the same reason why CJI went so well. It's because for once you had a guy who knew how to do the operation and has been boots on the ground in the trade, but then is also can do the business, you know, like
Right.
Craig Jones has the ideas, knows how to make the matches, knows who to put, what the people want to see, the banter, the promotions, but he found the money, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Alex is the goddamn, he's been competed, bro. He's competed, he's fought, he's done jiu-jitsu, he's a black belt, you know what I'm saying? He's been teaching for a long time, so he kind of knows how to structure a class. And then he made the gym. You know what I'm saying? So it's different when you have a guy who doesn't know what they're doing and they just make the gym and then they put the wrong people in place or something, you know?
Yeah, incredible how big it's going. What, 3 years? 3 years?
I want to say 2022, bro.
It's bigger than Tiger now, I would say.
It's way bigger, bro, for
Way
sure.
bigger.
For sure. And, bro,
Such a short
Tiger's
amount of
never
time.
had the type of athletes they've had there, bro. Just look who they've had in the last year, man. John Jones, Craig Jones,
Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury,
Yeah.
George St. Pierre.
Yeah.
Bro, that's the 4 greatest combat athletes of our time.
Yeah.
I mean, Tyson Fury in boxing doesn't get a higher champ.
And it's close to the original crew as well, isn't it? It's like Woody's there, George, Frank, Alex, Will Elliott's there now. I think Volkanovski's involved as well, isn't he?
Volkanovski's
Brad's there. It's like the
Volkanovski's a
original
part
crew.
owner.
Peter Fornek.
Peter Fornek, got the German out there
Yeah.
doing kettlebells, dog, slanging sausage.
Yeah,
Then
I
you
miss
got,
those guys.
man, you got Anwar, bro. Yeah, man, it's so good. They had Som out there, the whole crew, bro. He put everybody on, dog. They just rinse and repeat, but doing it right. You know what I'm saying? But I heard Thailand's so expensive, dog.
I heard that as well. I left at the wrong time. As soon as we leave, the fucking marijuana gets legalized.
Oh my gosh, have you ever got popped there?
Yeah, do you remember that time I got popped? I was
Oh,
on the
you
way,
got
I went
kicked
to the
off the
reggae
scooter.
bar
Didn't they push you?
On the way back, they pulled me over. And I had a big block of weed in my pocket. So then they took me into prison. I had to pay my way out.
Didn't they knock over they kicked your bike over one time or
I
something?
tried to get away. I was slowing down. I was like, oh shit, what do I do? What do I do? And then I thought, fuck it, let's try and get away. So I tried to speed off. And then they kicked me off my motorbike. And
Hold on. Set the table.
They didn't have handcuffs, but they had these plastic tie wraps. So I'm at the side of the road with my hands tied together.
Hold on, dog. You gotta set the table for the common folk because they're gonna think you're a psychopath. They're gonna think you're a psycho. Like, yo, this guy ran away from the police. So people don't understand, guys. Thailand is like the wild, wild west. There's no rules there. There's no cameras. There's no system. And when you get pulled over, they don't do traffic stops there in Thailand, right? So when you're in Thailand, they have stops where they'll just randomly pull people over and where they're gonna be.
For no reason. They just pull you out, and even if you've done nothing wrong, even if you've got your helmet on, you've got a driver's license, you better have 1,000 baht just in your pocket ready, just to for him to fuck off.
So they don't know. People don't know. The traffic stop in Thailand, no Thais are getting stopped in Thailand. Only foreigners. And they're going to pull you over. If you have a helmet, they're going to give you a ticket for a license.
Dude, so I remember last time I was there, I think it was a week before I left. You know me, I don't drink at all, do I? You know, it's not that I don't drink, but I've never been a big drinker.
Hey, right? I've seen you at 32 barbecue beatdowns. I've seen you at all the barbecue beatdowns. I've never seen you drink.
So I was in Patong and I had one beer. at the beginning of the night, and then the rest of the night was just like Coke, water, and stuff. So then I got on my motorbike to go back to Shillong from Patong, and I know there's police checks all the time, but I'm not worried because I know I'm not been drinking. Sure enough, they pull me over, they breathalyze me, and I'm over the limit. And I'm like, how is that possible? So then I'm stood at the side of the road, and then I ask him, hey, can I do that one more time? Can you do it? And then I'll do it. So then the police officer did it, and it was under. Then I did it again, and it was under. And then I did it again, it was under. So this time it wasn't saying I was over the limit, but he still wouldn't let me go. I just had to give him some money. They rigged the fucking breathalyzer.
They rigged the breathalyzer. Yo, that's so funny you say that, because one time Alex got pulled over and he was mad fucked up. And they tested him, and he's like, nah, because Alex is smart, bro. He's a little lawyer, bro. He's a little negotiator, bro.
Yeah.
This guy does not.
He speaks Thai as well.
Yeah, he doesn't take no shit, though. You pull him over, and they'll be like, they try to extort him, and he's like, nah, I'm only giving you 500 baht. Where I'm like, take whatever, let me go, you know?
Well, he was the one, Alex was the one that recommended, like, when I got pulled over for the marijuana, so they took me into the police station and behind bars, but then they actually bring me back out. They take me to the constable's office or something. He goes, right, we want 50,000 baht. These police officers are going to come back to your apartment with you. And so that's what they did. So we got in the car. We went back to my apartment. They came in with me, got my passport. We went back to the station. They put the passport on the table. It says, right, you come back tomorrow. You don't get this back until you get 50,000 baht. So I think I was living with Alex at the time, and I told Alex, and Alex was like, do not give them 50,000 baht. Just give him 5. Just give him 5,000 baht, and they'll take it. And he goes, do not give him 50,000, because I didn't even have 50,000. I was thinking, well, I'm going to have to call my mum up. Like, Mum, I need 50,000. Just been in Thai prison.
Oh, my
So then I go
God.
back the next day, and I take Alex's advice, and I just give him 5,000. And then they took it, and then they just let me go. They didn't give me any trouble.
Bro, this fucking guy is the plug to Phuket. You know how many times that's happened to people? He saved so many people. Bro, one time they wanted.
Streetwise. Yeah,
got
you
us
can
like
you
80
just pay your way out of things, don't you?
Isn't that crazy how you can just pay your way out? Over there, you paid. It's kind of good and kind of bad.
Yeah, you're right. It's like over here, these kind of things. If you got caught for like marijuana or something, well, it's legal here, but kind of something of the similar. You're not going to get away. You can't pay the police off for things, But in Thailand, yeah, it's kind of good and bad, I suppose.
It's good and bad, because if you're just like this, like like you get caught with like some weed or something stupid, or you're drunk, or like they're trying to get some money from you, you're just paying to let you go home. But
Just don't let it get to the paperwork.
but if somebody fucking kills you, and it's a foreigner on foreigner, and they get him, that guy's also gonna be able to pay and go, because they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to be careful, because it's like in life you got to take the good with the bad. You got to know that the degrees of separation in Thailand and from the West is way different. Meaning like there's like 6 degrees of separation from like you and like maybe a mass murderer, or like criminals. Like in Canada there's a separation between you and like some mass murderers or killers. But in Thailand those guys will be just cutting about you in Patong.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of weirdos out there that go there and they're hiding from shit,
I wonder if it's the same, if it's still easy to do the visa runs. Because what we would do, I had a work permit last time I was there, but we would do these visa runs, right? I think you were allowed 3 months? No, you would get 2 months, but then you could go to immigration, pay 1,000 baht, get another stamp. So you get 3 months, but then you just get on this fucking minibus, a 12-hour minibus to Penang. And then pay 3,000-4,000 baht, which is not that much money. And then you stay the night in some hotel, they stamp it. And then when you're coming back through the border, you give them your passport, but you slip them another 1,000 baht. There's a big line of people, and these passport officers are like, ching, 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 just 1,000 baht, 1,000 baht, 1,000 baht, 1,000 baht. Just making money. And they just let us back in for another 3 months.
And people don't know, right? So you get this visa run service.
Still the same,
I wonder, because I've done that a few times, yeah. So when you do the visa run, when you do the border crossings, what people don't know, right? You go to Malaysia, you pay some service, they pick you up in a little van, like a little 10-person van, and you just go overnight. You drive overnight through Thailand. You cross the Malaysian border, where it's like kind of dodgy. They pay you in, they stamp you in. They go to immigration. They know all the paperwork, so you don't got to do anything, You just got to you got to just turn in your paperwork, and then you wait a day.
Yeah.
And then, Penang's pretty cool little city. I love Penang though. That's a cool little place to chill,
Yeah, but think how how fast, how crazy they drive in those minivans. I didn't really think to. I would never do that now. I would fly, but those guys in those minivans would be 12-hour van rides, speeding around these corners. But I would just
Yeah.
knock myself. I would take a couple of Xanax from the from the pharmacy, and just like, like Craig Jones says, it goes from economy to economy plus.
Oh yeah, you think it's no, that's up, bro. But the thing is, if you fly though, you don't know how to do the paperwork that these people do.
That's the
And
thing. I
slip
did
in
it
the
once.
money,
I flew once with Jeff,
and it
we
never
did the
works.
paper. Jeff kind of did it all for me, though. I was just following his lead.
Yeah, did he get it done?
We got it done, yeah. But most of the time, I just got in the minivan. But I did fly one time.
Yeah, listen, the flying is easier because you fly, but the minivan, it sucks, man. You gotta stop, and then like you stop at these random ass. You're like in the middle of fucking. You don't even know where you are when you stop, right?
Yeah, it's standing
You're
these,
in
like,
fucking-
some of these random kind of like restaurant places as well. These outdoor
And the
restaurants.
food's already ready for you when you get
Yeah,
there.
yeah. It was all planned out for you, wasn't it? It was actually quite organized in a way.
It was kind of cool, right? No, I love the one restaurant on the way back. There's one place we always stop at the same restaurant. I loved it. You know, they get the fettuccine alfredo. You know that one
Yeah,
little
yeah.
nice place where they have like nice. It's like a nice restaurant. They have the ladies come out and they do like little dance.
Yeah.
Yo,
Dude,
but that's
that was a good time in life, wasn't it? That was
what a crazy time in life,
It
right? You
really
just jump
was,
on a
yeah.
visa. Oh man, it's hard to explain and say it out loud to people, like to make the
It
picture for
really
them.
is. Yeah, we were there. There's some good years. There's a good group of us there, and there's something about just getting on your motorbike and just driving around the island. Like you just get up in the morning, do some jiu-jitsu, then you'd all go to eat together, like Fatty's or Mama's restaurant, and then you do the
Man.
ice bath together, and everyone is like it's very social, isn't it? You're always around people. Like you never really like. I know I miss that, like, and just there's a certain sense of freedom there. Like it's cheap accommodation, cheap food, like cool culture there, really laid back. And it's like one of the things, Thailand's one of these places you can go there and really focus and work hard and become a world champion, or you could get distracted and you could go off the fucking rails, couldn't you?
That's the thing, dog.
I've seen that happen a lot. It happened to me.
It happened to me a little bit too. It's up to you, I call it. Like it's the freedom, but if you gotta know who you are, because if you go there with that type of freedom, you gotta be able to restrain yourself because nobody's gonna restrain you for you. Nobody's gonna do it for you, and nobody's really gonna. You can kind of fake the funk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, you just brought me back. Like doing morning jiu-jitsu and then everybody going to tiny Thai after having some. You go with a big group all together. You know what I'm saying?
Bonkanam.
Oh, Bonkanam, bro. Underrated. Nobody really knows how good that place was.
No one knew about that one.
It's crazy because you got guys who live on the soy, but they never get off that soy. They just do only what's there. They go to Ali's every day. They go to all those places.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But Patong, you were never really a big Patong guy, though. You didn't really get lost in the sauce too much
when I
over there.
first moved there, I did. I actually went out and partied in Bataan quite a bit, but I think it was about maybe a year and a half into Thailand. That's when I kind of got hooked on the old tramadol pills, and then I just became a bit of a hermit, didn't I? So I was like very outgoing, and I'd come out and party with everyone and everything, and I was training hard. I was getting good at jiu-jitsu, but then there was a few years where I just. Yeah, the opiates. I'm sure since then now we see that this is like a common thing around the world. There's a massive opiate epidemic around the world.
Yes, that's what it is, though.
Yeah, and I fell victim to it for quite a few years, but I was fortunate to get out of that.
Oh my God! Thank God, bro. How did you
remember? I was living in an apartment building next to you.
Bro, I remember one night I was knocking on your door. We were supposed to go train or something and chill. I remember I seen you were sleeping. You must have slept for like 10 hours straight that day, bro.
Oh, yeah. That would be very normal for me to do, yeah. And you were in this opiate cloud.
And I remember we had, dog. And I remember we had the damn sharing, like we had the balconies close to each other. So I'd be smoking a joint in the morning, about to go to jiu-jitsu, and our team would just be able to pass it to each other like that,
Yeah.
But I remember, bro, I was so happy when you broke through from that because I was like legit worried for you, man. I was like a hard time, bro. And you were like super skinny, bro. Like I remember you weren't the same, dog. You just weren't that dude.
You know what? You were one of the only people. You and Roger Huerta actually, and Fernando as well. You were the guys that actually pointed it out to me. I remember you one day saying to me, "Hey man, are you okay? Because I think you've got a bit of a problem here." You knew, like you saw something that was different, and then I remember I flew back to England. I finally admitted to myself I had a problem. Flew back to England and I went through this 1 year kind of detox withdrawal. And then managed to get through it all, did a bunch of psychedelics at the end of it. And then next thing you know, I got a job at Evolve MMA in Singapore for a year. And then I came back to Thailand, didn't I? And I became the head jiu-jitsu coach. So I managed to, like, I almost fucked my life up for a while there. I was pretty much hit rock bottom, but fortunately, I managed to get on the straight and narrow and learned a lot from that.
Man, do you think that the psychedelics helped you break that
Yeah,
pattern and addiction?
100%. So I remember it took me a year to detox, to taper down from the tramadol that I was taking, but I was also taking Valiums. So it took me a year to get off them. But then I remember I was 3 months clean and my brain was all fucked up. I just, I didn't have any motivation. I was like depressed, anxious, no drive or anything. And then that's when I was reading about ayahuasca one day. I just thought it was like some kind of psychedelic you do. I don't know, I just thought like, oh, it's something you do for fun. But then I started reading about it. I was like, oh, this is like a medicine that helps people with depression and anxiety and stuff. And I just remember like having strong cravings for drugs and, not being able to sleep properly and just wasn't myself. And then it's weird. It's hard to describe, but they say ayahuasca, when you have a calling, you know. And that's what I felt like. I remember reading about it, doing some research, and just something telling me this is where I get a little bit hippie, something was just telling me this could help you a lot. And then next thing you know, I'm flying out to an island called Fimu off Copenhagen, and I'm doing a couple of ayahuasca ceremonies. And I don't know what the science is and that stuff, but I remember on the way there thinking I'm just praying that this was going to work, that this was going to help me. And I remember you're supposed to set some intentions before you drink ayahuasca. So I remember just saying, all I want is I want these cravings to go. I just don't want to think about drugs. I want the cravings to disappear, and I just want my energy back. I want my motivation. Just want to be, because I didn't have the energy to get out of bed. And yeah, just 2 nights drinking ayahuasca, and boom, my cravings for drugs were gone. And it's like the color was back in my face. I remember going back to England and my mum saying, you look different. You've got the color back in your face. You've got the spark in your eye. You look happy. It's like I don't know what it did. It did something.
Wow, bro.
It did something.
And did you do like the purge where you throw up and you have this like
there was,
crazy bad
the first time I did ayahuasca, I didn't throw up. For me, it was the other end. I was going to the toilet. So you either throw up or you have extreme diarrhea. So for me, it was the other end. But I had to get carried to the toilet because I'm like deep in this fucking psychedelic state on 3 glasses of ayahuasca. And where I open up my eyes and there's complex geometry everywhere and I need the toilet. So I remember putting my hand up and the shaman and shaman apprentice coming over to me and like glowing geometry and then carrying me to the toilet. And then it was a wild experience. I remember the weekend after that, I did another ceremony where I did Cambo, San Pedro, and then ayahuasca again. So it was about 2 weeks. I did this kind of healing journey where I did I did 4 ayahuasca ceremonies, 1 San Pedro ceremony, and then 3 Cambo ceremonies.
What's San Pedro?
San Pedro is the cactus where the active ingredient is mescaline. So a lot of peyote is very similar. There's peyote, San Pedro. So it's the cactus, and you do that in the daytime. So ayahuasca you drink at night, and then the next day you usually drink San Pedro in the morning on an empty stomach, and that lasts all day. It lasts like 10, sometimes 12 hours long.
Really?
Yeah.
And what was that like? What is that? What is it? What was the purpose of that? Do you know? Like
that one's more introspective. It's very introspective. It's like it's not as visual as ayahuasca. Ayahuasca, like you have a lot of these crazy visuals and like these lessons come to you in like riddles almost, and there's some heavy purging involved, and it shows things about yourself that you have to deal with that you kind of like try and bury to the side. But I found San Pedro to be quite light. And it's a good thing for like integration, so where it puts you in this state where you're just calmly thinking about your entire life, in a positive way, and maybe about the ceremony from the ayahuasca the night before, where it's like it brings the background to the foreground, and all of a sudden you're able to really think crystal clear about certain, certain situations that have happened to your life, and why you are a certain way, and it's hard to put into words.
Is it like, it's almost like opening, because like I think a lot of times, like the inner trauma that we have, we don't know the trauma that we have, and we have ways
It
of
brings the
dealing
trauma
with
to
it.
the surface, and it makes you
Yeah, and
understand
because we
it. It's
have a
like
way to shell it, we know how to avoid it and never.
we
like,
call
put
them
things-
plant teachers, and it's so true. These things are like, it's like the ayahuasca and the San Pedro, the cactus itself, or the ayahuasca vine. It's like, is it a spirit of the plant? Is it the plant that has a consciousness that is teaching you these lessons, or is it a gateway to a god? Some consciousness. But it seems people have these very positive lessons where it makes them better. Not always though. There's some horror stories out there, so you really have to be careful when you're doing. There's it like the psychedelic kick right now going. People are a lot of people are interested in doing ayahuasca and mushrooms, but you got to be careful with these things, because you want to be careful who you're doing it with.
Yeah, that's the thing, bro. Like, I'm not gonna let no shaman younger than me. Like, I'm not gonna have no 21-year-old tell me he's a shaman. I
Right.
can't have a motherfucker with less life experience than me.
Yeah.
If I get a shaman, he's gotta be like a
consciousness,
long, big ass gray beard and be like, that guy needs to have seen some shit.
Yeah.
For me to trust him. But that's always been my big thing. Like, I've had a hard time with the psychedelics letting go. Have you ever taken DMT before?
Yeah, I actually. Where is it? This is a 5-MeO DMT pen.
No way. How far can you break through with that?
This one, I've only done it a couple times, and it doesn't seem. You have to really hit it. You can break through, yeah. I've done it before with a guy called Gareth Moxley, who lives here in Vancouver. So this is like the liquid version, like vaporized version. But with him, I did the powder, and that one. That's like the granddaddy of psychedelics, because you like cease to exist. It's like
I heard about you leave your body, but you gotta
it's like your consciousness like goes back into this singularity of white plain nothingness, this like vast plane of love,
the soul. Like, I know what you're saying, bro. So I've had so you've taken DMT and broken through before?
Yeah, quite a few times.
Oh, bro, I've never broke. I've taken DMT twice, and both times I've held on, where I felt the effects, and I'm like, oh my God, this is powerful,
What helps is breathing before doing some breathing exercise, and then, because it's hard to let go, because I actually gripped onto my yoga mat as well, but if you take a big, deep breath in, and then just exhale slowly, you'll actually find you just let go, and then it just, and then it becomes amazing. But you're right, it's that letting go is hard, because it's like you're here in this reality and it's so powerful. It's like, it's scary. You want to hold on because you feel like, oh shit, am I dying?
Yeah, it's like no, you really feel like you're dying. It's a forced ego death. Like, as soon as you hit it, you're like, oh my God, it's over. Like, you think you die, and you have to accept that.
Up, maybe,
Yeah. You're like, oh, what did I do? All right, so I'll tell you, I have a crazy experience with it. The first time I took it was a couple years back when I was visiting Miami, like 5 years ago. And I took it to my friend's house, and then he told me how to do it. So I hit it, and he's like, yo, keep going. I hit it again, like when I hit it, bro. But as soon as you hit it, you feel like, it's almost like when you smoke it, like I'm sucking in the universe, bro. Like you're sucking in the universe, and like everything is disappearing, So I hit it once, and he's like, hit it again. And then when I hit it again, I was like, oh my God, I was about to go, like everything was turning black. Like I saw the computer matrix screen, like, tick, 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 and I was like, but my inner heart, like right here, like when I was completely about to disappear, I held on, and I didn't let myself just, and I held down, and I got stuck like in this weird no man's land for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Where I didn't know what was going on, like I was tripping, but not tripping, where like things were like, I was removed from the simulation. Like for sure you can see the simulation, like how everything's built and the structures. But I was just kind of watching it. And then ever since then, but it was like very profound, bro. Like I didn't break through, but I felt the power of it, and it really moved me. It was like scary, like I didn't want to do it again for a long time.
Yeah, it's not something you are in a rush to do or do for the fun. It's like I've had this DMT pen here for like I bought it like a year ago. I've like done it once. I'm just never like you gotta be in the right mood to do it. You gotta prepare. Man.
No, so then I tried to take some a little while ago. My friend gave me some powder version again. And I smoked it in my backyard in my parents' house. and it's very beautiful. He told me to do it outside where it's nice. But then my other friend's like, no, you can't do it outside. You got to do it in the dark in your room or something. I'm like, fuck. Everybody's telling me different shit. So I did it again. I packed the bowl. My friend told me, like, get a little bit of weed and you put it in between the weed. You know what I'm saying? And you got to hit it 3 times. I hit it once, and bro, I hit it in my backyard, and I saw, like, same thing. I sucked in the universe. And then when I hit it again, my lighter didn't work. So then I'm like, fuck. And I'm like in that no man's land. You know, you got to hit it 3 times quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then once again, it got really scary, though. Like, I felt like the whole universe disappeared for a second. Like, when I was hitting it, I felt like I was sucking in the world. Like, I saw the ozone layer get, like, sucked in. And I was like, oh, my God. And I was like, yeah, I was about to get that ego death, and I just couldn't do it, bro. It was it's very, very scary, bro.
Yeah, first time I did it was actually with JP. Me and him did it together, but it was the leaf. So here I have like the synthetic version. In the cupboard. I've got NN-DMT, which is the crystals, and that one's way more visuals.
Is it like pink?
It's got a weird smell to it, but the synthetic version, it feels like synthetic almost. Like when you have the experience, it's powerful, but it doesn't. There's something about it doesn't feel organic. But when the
like
first
lab
time
created.
DMT was the chaga, it was like the leaves where you actually had to light it and smoke it. And that was way more powerful and actually felt like the ayahuasca that I did.
Yeah, because I heard it's the same thing.
You feel the female spirit is there with you. You actually feel it. It's very strong. And when JP did it, I remember he did it before me. He opened up his eyes, and the first thing he said was, "I love her." To Mother Ayahuasca or Mother whatever she is, you know.
That's what he said. I never talked to him. I gotta talk to him about that.
He goes, "Oh, that was it." He said, "He goes, I don't know who she is, but I love her." And it's funny how everyone has the same thing. Everyone feels this female presence. It's so wild that we all have the same encounter.
Because it's Mother Earth. It's Mother Earth. Mother is a nature. The womb, the earth is a woman. You know, it's like a tender. It's a nurture. And it's because it nurtures our environment, bro. Mother Earth is, bro. Because I'm convinced through the psychedelics that I've taken, and I don't know what it is or if it's God, but I think we're all God, bro. I think we're all God. I think we're all God. We're all connected, and we're just like fractions of each other. We're all broken down pieces of each other in different forms. And the only reason why our skin looks different is just because we're farther from the equator or not. If you live close to the equator, you're going to be darker. If you live farther, you're going to be whiter. That's all. But I swear to God, we're all the same thing. Because we all, and as a human being, as a society, as a species, bro, I've been all around the world, traveled, and been and done everything. And like, bro, everybody likes to do the same thing. We all like to eat, have a good time, and laugh, bro. Everybody likes to eat, party, and laugh, bro. Across the board, every religion, culture, human race being. You know?
I've heard someone say that like humans, our brains are like antennas for consciousness. And if you think of consciousness like a singularity of like a radio wavelength, and they've got these different stations, but these different stations are actually human beings. And so we're all connected to this singularity, and it's filtered down from each one of us, and we're just all here to experience and learn and grow, you know?
I believe it 100%, man. And then I think when you take mushrooms, you get closer to that feeling of. That's why you can sense people's energy when you take mushrooms. There's some cheat code with mushrooms and ayahuasca. This is why it's be careful. That's why you have to be very careful who you do mushrooms with and shit. Because if somebody has some inner issues, they might bring it out on you, you know. And it's not their fault, but you gotta learn. You gotta be really advanced. I mean, I'm a lot more advanced than I used to be, but I've had bad trips with people where like they had bad experiences. But now looking back with what I know now, I'm just like, oh, they were just dealing with some demons inside, and they didn't know what to do.
And the people do it is everything. I mean, because some people have never done mushrooms, and they'll go and do mushrooms for the first time at some house party where people are getting drunk, and they'll freak out and think, oh, I'll never do that again. It's like, well, I'm not surprised, you know. It's like you've got to have the right setting. You've got to trust the people you're with, and you know, it has 100%. To be just right. Because I remember I did mushrooms, not that much, maybe 1 gram of mushrooms on Bowen Island here in Vancouver. It was a few years ago. And the mushrooms kicked in, and I'm inside this coffee shop, and I'm freaking out. It's just too much, too stimulating, too overwhelming, all these different energies. And I just wanted to get this. I wasn't even getting a coffee, I was getting a tea just to walk with. I couldn't wait to get the fuck out of there. As soon as I got out of there and started walking in the woods, it's like, oh, This is what I came here for.
Yeah, I love that last hour of mushrooms is the best. Once you break through and you get all the, because it gets a little scary, and you gotta fight through that scariness in the beginning. But once you break
I
through it
like
in the
it.
end, I love that once you break through it in the end, it's like you have that like peacefulness where like all the cobwebs in your brain, you kind of just, because your brain is going like, I've read this book recently called The Four Agreements. I don't know if you ever read it, but I recommend it, bro. I recommend you get on that yesterday. It's the best book I've ever read in my life.
Four agreements.
Yeah, and it talks about like four agreements that you make with yourself, and it's like it just talks about how like as a human beings, like we've all been kind of like programmed to feel and think a certain way. But the guy calls it like the metote. Like in the ancient times, they used to call like the brain was like the marketplace of whispers, where like that's where like you can kill and make yourself in your own head.
Right.
And that something about those mushrooms, it kind of like weeds all that shit out. And sometimes when you're going through a lot, it's because your mushrooms are just working and they're pulling it all out, and then. Sometimes, yeah, like I'm sure the ayahuasca does that too, right? Like it confronts you with things that maybe you don't want to know or see, but you kind of internally work through it,
Yeah, it's actually last night I had have you ever tried the Amanita muscarias?
No, what's that?
Yeah, so that's the red mushroom with the white spots. You see it like Super Mario, and they kind of grow around Christmas trees.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if they actually grow around Vancouver around October time. But if you eat them raw, you don't know what you're doing. They could kill you. They're incredibly toxic. But there's a way to decarb them where you like boil them for like 30 minutes in lemon juice. So I actually had some last night. I drank a tea out of it, and it's a weird experience. It's completely different to psilocybin because psilocybin hits this serotonin 2A receptor. And so does LSD and ayahuasca and DMT. But the Amanita muscaria hits the GABA receptors, the same receptors as alcohol. And if you have enough of it, it's like again, I can't even put into words what it's like. It's completely unique experience of its own. I didn't do a full trip, but I didn't mean to have that much, but it's a real strong sedative as well. So when it kicked in, I had to go to bed early, but I was having some pretty wild dreams.
No way, but it's not like alcohol, so you don't feel like hungover or nothing the next day.
No, so what it actually does, it gets people off alcohol. So this mushroom, the Amanita muscaria, I think this is one that's going to get popular in the next few years. So if I had known this, I would have used this because people that hooked on diazepam. So if you're on alcohol, you can't just stop drinking alcohol if you're a heavy alcoholic. You have to taper down. But what they'll do if you go to a rehab is they'll give alcoholics diazepam because it hits the same receptors. So they get them to taper off the alcohol using diazepam. But then you've got to get off the diazepam, the Valium, which is a benzo. That's hard to get off in itself. And these things, like, you have to taper down off them slowly because if you just stop taking them, you can have seizures. But Amanita muscaria, so the diazepam actually floods your brain with GABA, and so does alcohol. That's why the next day when you're hungover, that's actually your GABA receptors depleted. But Amanita muscaria helps your brain produce more GABA. So it actually heals the GABA receptors. So if you've got brain damage from benzos, you can actually take Amanita muscaria to, basically heal your GABA receptors. And it's really good for anxiety. It's like a muscle relaxer. There's a lot of benefits to it.
I never heard of that before.
Yeah, not many people have yet. It's going to get popular in the next few years, I think.
I wonder if it's good for like PTSD, for like trauma, like traumatic stress, like PTSD too.
I think the Amanita muscaria are better for
CTE.
people with anxiety, but I think PTSD you're probably better off with like MDMA or ibogaine. Ibogaine's a good one for that.
Is that the frog or is that the toad?
No, the frog is Cambo. 5-MeO DMT is the toad, I think, or is that a frog?
You've done the toad. You've done the toad, right?
Yeah, I've done both. I've done the Cambo and the 5-MeO, and then I've done the ibogaine. The ibogaine is that one's a root of a plant that comes from South Africa. And that one gets people off opiates. It detoxes people off opiates.
Okay, really?
So it eliminates the withdrawals. One of the hardest things to get off with opiates is the withdrawals because they're fucking horrendous. But you can do ibogaine, and it cleans out the opiate receptors.
Man, people don't know the power of psychedelics with getting rid of like these drugs because it's so fucked up how the government's got everybody on drugs, Like, bro, any issue you have in the world, you go to a doctor and you have any type of mental health or like disorder going on or any type of feelings, they're going to just prescribe you. They want to prescribe you all those antidepressants, Xanax, Valium. They just want to give you. It's funny because I didn't know that the name for Valium is diazepam. I hear that word all the time. People prescribe that shit all the time for stress and shit. You know, like it's crazy,
Yeah.
bro.
It's one of the hardest drugs to get off. I think Jordan Peterson, he was like prescribed Klonopin, which is another benzo, and he had to fly to Germany and do a medically induced coma to get off it because the withdrawals were so severe. It's really hard to get off, harder than opiates.
It's crazy, man. That's the hardest thing with these pills, bro. And that thing is like, yeah, and tramadol is like the one in Thailand that a lot of guys get hooked on is heavy duty.
So many people. People do it. You just buy it over the counter. You can buy a pack of 10 for what? Was it 50 baht?
Bro, for
A pack of
100.
10.
Dog, you can get a whole day of comatose. And bro, I remember I crashed my motorbike and I went into a tramadol spell for like 2-3 months. Dog, I was dropping 10 a day at one point. And it gets you all itchy like a baser, right? Like you're all itchy all the time and you don't have to eat. It's crazy, bro. I got on a little tramadol still to myself, man.
Well, that's just think I was always around 190. Right now I'm a bit bigger because I've been lifting a lot, but I was always walking around 185, 190, sometimes a bit heavier. But when I got hooked on tramadol, you just forget to eat and you don't feel like eating. My weight, do you remember I got really skinny? I went down
You were
to
like
155 pounds.
Yeah, I was gonna say you were like 160, 155, dog. It was crazy.
Yeah.
You did
And I
not
was
look
like,
right, bro.
I didn't look right at all, did I? I was skinny.
Nah, you were off your game, bro. I could tell. It's like, nah, this ain't the stew, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Thank
that's what
God, bro.
drugs
And look
do.
at that. It's a shame that more doctors and people in the mainstream don't push. Like, I think now those psychedelics are making a push into the mainstream reality. Like I see a lot of famous people, but the thing is, a lot of people think that like ayahuasca is just gonna fix them, but you also got to do the work and fix yourself. You know?
Yeah,
That's the catch.
it's not like a quick fix for anything, and it doesn't always work, and it can make people worse. You know, there's such a thing as a psychedelic narcissism. Where some people like it just makes them even worse. You know.
Really, it makes them. Maybe they make
Yeah.
them think they're a god or something. You know?
Yeah, they think they're on a higher plane than everyone else. It's like, oh, I'm awake now, and everyone else is beneath me. You know, you get people like that.
Oh yeah, they get an ego death and they think they're the man and shit. Where it's like the complete
Yeah.
opposite. You know?
Yeah, they definitely get a god complex.
Yeah, man. So you think the DMT? I think that's the thing with DMT. It gives you like a forced ego death. With mushrooms, you can have ego death, but you really got to let go on the mushrooms, and it's hard on the
Yeah,
mushrooms
you gotta
too.
take enough mushrooms.
Yeah, you got to take enough, and you have no choice, right?
Yeah,
And
the
it's just
heroic
like,
dose, what is it, 5 grams?
yeah, 5 grams. I don't think I've
5
ever done it once, but I've broke through on mushrooms, bro. Not by choice, but I have broken through. Just on where we taken a lot, and we're like, and then it was just like heavy, you know. But when I broke through, I've always had really bad trips after mixed, you know.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, but I don't know why that is, you know, like why I'm such a fucking head case. But I tell you what, bro, with the concussions and fights, I'm actually due for a good mushroom trip.
Yeah,
I have
no,
some
there's a lot of
DMT in my
evidence
room.
for that. Psilocybin, lion's mane, psilocybin, and CBD. These could all be very good for like, trauma. You know, to
Yeah,
the
remember
brain.
you were making those pills? They were really good, bro. I used to take those. You were taking a line. You had a little cocktail you were making, remember?
Yeah, I think I was mixing lion's mane with psilocybin. So I was going up to the reggae bar and buying the mushrooms, drying them out. I remember that was another thing that happened right before I left Thailand. I think I told this story in Josh Finger's podcast, but I bought a bunch of mushrooms
This is
from the
so
reggae
funny.
bar, and I'm on the way back, and they're in a 7-Eleven bag hanging from the handlebars. And then what happens? The fucking police pull me over. So I'm like, oh, fuck. Not again. So, but then they pull me over and they're like, they think I've been drinking or something. So they actually like do a breathalyzer, and they're not seeing the bag of mushrooms. They do a breathalyzer, I'm under, and then they make me stand, they make me do the test, standing on one foot. And I'm not, and then they search my bag, like as in my gym bag. They go in the seat, they search the seat of the bike. But the mushroom, they just thought it was a 7-Eleven bag with probably candy. It was just hanging there in plain sight, and we didn't check. And they actually let me get back on the motorbike and drive off, and I had a bag of mushrooms right there in front of them.
So you're doing a breathalyzer and you're freaking out the whole time just staring at a bag of mushrooms.
I was
You're
like,
just staring at it like, yo,
I
any
thought they were
minute
fucking
now.
with me. I was like, are they like, what's going on here?
And it's because I know the Thai cops. I'm like, in my head, I know what it looks like and how funny it is. But it's like, I don't think people can understand like how they look like. They're like proper gangsters. They're all maxed up. They got their
They're
gun.
scary
and, like,
looking.
They're
They have
scary
outfits. They have the
right?
glasses. They have like these masks and these helmets, and they've got guns on them and bats. Like they're scary.
And it's funny, you were telling the story before that, like, yo, people don't know, like, so when you see the police, you can kind of like people. I have a lot of friends who've like they try to get pulled over and they just keep going. They pretend like they didn't see them, and they just kind of like outgun them, and the guy will chase him, and then they'll get a little bit tired, and then they won't chase you for too long. But they actually fucking kicked your motorbike. They weren't having it on you that day.
Yeah,
so
remember,
funny,
you could just go into Nihon Beach. You would have to go through this roundabout, and there was always police in this roundabout. So what I would do, a trick, if you got white skin, they're pulling you over. So you'd have to wear like long pants, a long jacket, keep your helmet on, and then they won't pull you over.
Yeah, that's so funny, bro. I used to go get weed because you get weed at the reggae bars and stuff there, right? At the little shops. I used to go when it's raining because I used to be like, all right, the cops ain't gonna be outside when it's raining.
Good time.
So I would specifically go when it was raining. So I'm like, there's no way they're gonna be out there trying to get money because the police in Thailand, they're gonna work the same time you'd want to work when it's not hot. And in the mid-afternoon, they're not going to be there like at 7 in the morning. They're going to be there like from 1 to 3.
There's another thing you could do. I don't know if you did this as well. Like you could see the police on the other side of the roundabout, but you time it. Let a bus or a big truck kind of go around the roundabout, and then you go on the inside of them and use them as a disguise, so you don't see it. I would do that.
Oh, the good old days, man. Go watch a movie at Central Tuesdays for the cheap movie days. Remember
the VIP. Yeah, it was super cheap when you get the VIP seats.
I've seen more movies in Thailand than I have in a long time, bro. That's like the last time I'd actually go to the movies.
I don't listen to them much now.
But they don't make good movies anymore, bro. The movies always suck nowadays.
No, after COVID.
Right?
Yeah.
I can't believe you were in Canada during the pandemic, bro. That's nuts, man.
Yeah, and it was nuts here as well. I mean,
and it was crazy lockdown, right?
Yeah, Vancouver was pretty bad. It wasn't as bad as some of the other provinces, like other places like Montreal, Toronto. They were bad, but it was still pretty bad here in Vancouver. We were locked down for Omicron. It was
the Omicron! I forgot about the Omicron, dog.
Yeah, and they had all the crazy rules as well. Where the best one was you could come into the gym. You had to wear a mask coming in the gym. But when you do jiu-jitsu, you can take it off and sweat on each other. But if you go to the toilet, you have to put the mask back on to go to the toilet and then take it back off again when you do jiu-jitsu. But then when you're leaving, you shower and leaving, you have to you take it off when you shower, but you have to put it back on when you leave the building. It's like...
Dog, and the Tiger, they really ran a number on us, huh? I'm sorry, in Tiger. In the pandemic, they really ran a number on us, right? Like, they really bro, they were like, let's see how much dumb shit we can tell these people and how much they're going to agree with and go with.
It was amazing what the things... I was all for, we didn't know about it. I'm all for masks where it makes sense, if we're on a bus in a crowded place. But some of these rules... I remember I went to this spa place here in Vancouver called Scandinave Spa, and you had to wear a mask in the sauna and the steam room. Like, what the fuck? In the sauna, it actually wasn't that bad, but in the steam room, if you're wearing a surgical mask, it's a steam room, it gets wet, it would stick to your mouth. It was
crazy.
It's just some of the things, it was painful. I saw people wearing masks in a jacuzzi. In fact, this summer, we're in 2024, I saw someone wearing a mask on a paddleboard in the middle of the ocean by himself. And I'm like, bro, what are you worried about?
I'm glad that it's shining light on how many stupid people there actually are in the world. And you're like, oh, snap. You know what I'm saying? You realize how many dumb people there are.
It's alarming how many.
Yo, when I knew I was time to leave Thailand? I was in Bangkok, dog, and I was getting a COVID test. And I seen a doctor with gloves on, with the white latex gloves, fucking double gloved, come out the fucking thing, and they put sanitizer over their gloves. I'm like, dog, I thought that's why you wear the gloves. Like, the sanitizer doesn't work on gloves, you fucking idiot. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was trying to be a paramedic, and I used to do EMT school, and paramedic school. Bro, I'm pretty sure that the gloves are so that you don't need the damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, they were trying to clean their hands. Yeah. It's the shit to clean your hands, bro, and they're putting it on top of their gloves. I'm just like, oh, it's time to get the fuck out of here,
Yeah, there were some wild ones. I remember I saw a video. There was some school, I'm not sure what state it was in the US, but they allowed the high school prom, the ball to go on, but you weren't allowed to dance face to face with your date. You were back to back, linking arms and dancing around the room. There's video footage of it.
Dog, when I came to America for the first time, and bro, when I left Thailand, it was 9 p.m. curfew in Bangkok. It was crazy. And bro, I remember I was in Qatar in the airport waiting, and I seen like Chinese people dressed like in whole hazmat suits. The face like it's crazy, bro. People we lost, bro. I didn't realize how much of the world was how much of the world was retarded. You know what I'm saying? Like
Dude,
it's crazy.
the world has, like, ever since COVID, I don't know about what you think, but the world has changed. Like, something happened. Like, it's not the same. It's like that virus did something to our brains, you know?
Yeah, because we saw the government. Because for most of the time, you know what it is, bro? I've never trusted the government, and I've always been anti-establishment. But for the first time in a long time, people realize that the government doesn't have our best interests at heart. And that really everything they say and do is really just for control. And all the people that were kind of like, yo, the government's just trying to control you. Everything's bullshit. Everything's a lie. And everybody thought we were kidding and we were crazy conspiracy theorists. But now everything that everybody was freaking out and going crazy about has actually turned out to be 100% true, bro.
Yeah, a lot of it is true. And
know?
even now, people still don't want to admit there was a problem with those vaccines, you know? Like, I was actually in Tijuana, and there was a lot of it doing stem cells. But it's a hospital, so they treat patients for other issues as well. But I met quite a number of people there that were vaccine injured from the COVID vaccine. My dad, he ended up in hospital with a blood clot, you know, from the booster. You know, my granddad, he had a heart attack. We don't know for sure, you know, if it was the vaccine, but there's a bit of a coincidence, you know, the timing of it.
Yeah, 'cause he's like perfectly healthy, right? And then all of a sudden now,
Yeah,
like, boom.
yeah, it was very sudden.
Yeah, how about the NFL player that had a heart attack on the field, and then when they asked him, what do you think happened? He was like, they're like, what do you think? Michael Strahan was like, I don't understand. You're a young 27-year-old athlete in your athletic prime, as strong and as healthy as it can be. How is it that you can have a heart attack in the field? And the guy was like this, because he's the NFL, so he's like paid by the politicians. So, you know, the NFL, the athletes are not allowed to speak, you know?
Yeah.
Athletes have to do whatever the government says so they can get their money and keep quiet and puppet for the government, you know?
Yeah.
And he's just like this. No, it's crazy, bro. I'm still waiting for my apology, dog. You know what I'm saying? How many people lost their job? We were shunned on like you were a white supremacist Nazi if you didn't want to get a vaccine, dog.
Oh, yeah.
A white supremacist Nazi. How am I a Cuban Nazi, bro?
I was like pretty much forced into it over here. Like, actually, I'm pretty sure I got the original COVID. I didn't really want to get the vaccine, but there was enough people around me kind of shaming me, so I ended up getting it. And I kind of got it to, like, you know, I was going back to England, so far I do it to protect my mom and my grandma.
Yeah, that's how they got us all, bro.
But yeah, like, so I didn't actually have any reaction to the vaccine, but it was just so strange. It's like these things didn't. Like, I've had COVID 4 times now.
That's bro. You see what I'm saying? And I never had COVID, dog. And I got pure blood. I had no vax. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And because they say that once you get COVID, it's supposed to clean out the blood or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Anyways, dance things happen here. Anyways, all right, big dog. We've been chatting for a while. It's just gonna take a mission to edit, but fuck, man, that was a great little chat, bro. We gotta do this again. We gotta catch up. I gotta come see you and train again soon, bro. We better cut it now before we get canceled. You know what I'm saying? Oh my god, we're at 2 hours already, dog.
Oh wow.
Oh my god.
Well, I think we were chatting for about 25 minutes before.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So the recording, all right, yeah, because I'm saying my podcast time is like, yeah, we talk for like a good 30 minutes, man. Fuck, man. All right, so you over in Vancouver, Canada. If anybody wants to train with you, Stu, they got to come check you out. They got to come to Vancouver. I heard it's very beautiful over there. It's like a good vibe, right?
It really is, yeah. In the summer, it's amazing. Like this time of year, it's actually been we've had a decent fall. We're just getting into the winter now. But Vancouver in the summer, like BC, is like my favorite place in the world. It's incredible here.
Really? I got to check you out, bro. We got to get some training in. Are you planning on coming stateside anytime soon?
Yeah, definitely. Like, not sure when, but you know, I come over there quite a bit.
Yeah, and CGI too is popping
once I'm
off.
healed up, I'll be doing some competitions over there for sure.
Damn, that's amazing. How old are you, bro?
I'm 39. I'll be 40 next.
Oh my god, yo, but 40, but you're still competing, getting after it, fucking up these black belts, dog.
Yeah,
fucking up guys at black belt. You fuck your students up. You rolling. You don't feel the age, right? I bet you're nasty.
Dude, I'm actually doing pretty good. My elbows are feeling it. My elbows are a bit fucked up, but everything else is fine.
Yo, people don't know. I don't think people know how nasty you are with the jiu-jitsu. They don't know that the guy behind the lens will fuck you up.
Yeah,
You're the one that showed Joe Ray the classic. Remember when Joe Ray tapped
Yeah, yeah.
out Ole?
Is
He credited that to you, bro.
Yeah, what was this? Ole Larson, was it?
Ole Larson, dog.
Shit, yeah,
But
yeah.
Joe Ray credited that triangle to you, man. People don't know you got one of the nastiest arm triangles in the game, bro.
Yeah, not anymore. I do different things. That's funny how you abandon certain moves, right?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
Yeah, like you'll go through a stage where you'll like hit shit, you know?
yeah. I do rear naked chokes these days. That's my thing now.
No, yo, you know, I knew that from when the backtrap system, when we were training in Thailand, bro. I remember you got me so nasty at that, and you were so vicious with the rear naked chokes, though. I remember you used to have everybody lined up, and you just choke out the whole class for like 40 minutes straight, bro. It was tremendous, man. I loved it, bro. I still do all the backtrap you taught me, man. I got that straight from you, straight from the source.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, I have a lot of jiu-jitsu that I owe to you, bro. One of my favorite coaches, man. So this is a good chat, bro. Hell yeah, dog. So we gotta see what's going on with CJI. You still bumping out highlights, and you've been posting out like
I'm
little.
gonna try and put one out. I've got the actual official highlight finished, ready to go on the B Team's YouTube channel. So I just need to catch up with Craig and Seth, like just to get it released. But I'm gonna put a few more Instagram reels out. I might even put one out tomorrow, actually.
Hell yeah! What do you think was the match of the tournament? Cade and
Yeah, Cade and
Tackett?
Tackett for sure. It gotta be, yeah.
Have you ever trained with Tackett?
Never trained with Cade either.
Tackett, those are young guys too, man. Those guys are beasts, bro. I remember when he was when one of them was like I forgot which one, but he tapped out Coco when he was like a young kid, like 17, 18, and then like he ended up tapping out Enrico at some random tournament, you know?
Wow.
We're like, God damn, Enrico. And Enrico, ADC, 3-time champion, fucking legit ass black belt, getting tapped out by like some 17-year-old kid and ended up being, you know, obviously the kid's
it's probably
legit.
William. It must be William Tackett, maybe.
I guess you have to be a little bit lighter, you know, but they're all about that weight, you know? But yeah, those guys, yo, Texas is like a little hub for jiu-jitsu, huh? Aren't the Tackett brothers in Texas?
Yeah, you got Team New Wave, you've got B Team, and then you've got Vanguard. You've got most of the Flow Grappling's based there as well, which helps, doesn't it?
Yeah, true that. And then you got B Team. I still love the New Wave guys. You don't hear too much about the Danaher and Death Squad too much, right? But they're still doing work, man.
Yeah. Like
All right. Anyways, too, dog. So we don't have to. After an hour and a half, people will start to lose all the fans and shit. But that was a great little chat, man. We hit a little bit of everything. A little jiu-jitsu, a little CJI, a little bit of Vancouver,
a little bit of
psychedelics. The most important, dog. So what's the magic dose? If somebody wants to go deep on some mushrooms and really find themselves, what do you recommend?
Ooh, well, yeah. They say the heroic dose is 5 grams, but not everyone's ready for that. So I would, you got to like build yourself up to that. I think I would say start with microdoses.
Nah, I would say do a 2 grams. 2 grams.
Yeah, well, really depends, doesn't it?
What do you call a microdose though? A microdose for you might be like a regular dose for some. Like
microdose
0.3, right?
200 milligrams.
Like 0.2, right?
0.2, yeah.
Yeah. Because anything over, and then you start to get a little bit trippy. You know what I'm saying?
A little bit too strong for me.
Yeah. Like, bro, 0.2, it's gotta be 0.2. Because you go 0.4, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, then you really feel it. Yeah.
It's crazy how that works, dog. Yeah, it's amazing, bro. No, there's something definitely there. Like, if we live in a simulation, whatever it is, like you were saying before, there's another energy out there, like a woman or something, that whenever you take mushrooms, it brings you closer to it. DMT, it brings you closer to it. I've never taken LSD, but because it's made in a factory, I'm not too into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, all right, anyways,
all right,
Big Dog Stu, that was awesome, bro. I really appreciate it, my man. I'll keep you posted. We're trying to drop this by next Tuesday, probably. All right?
All right, awesome.
Yo, great chat, my man. Big hug, my brother. Miss you, man. All right, we're going to train soon, doggy. Train hard. Tell all your students I said hello and wish you all the best, my man.